we do this lecture at comic conventions so far up and down the East Coast and a little bit into the Midwest. The reason we do this is because we're creating a black comic book line, plain and simple. So I'm not doing this altruistically. What we found in doing this is that black people were not really ready for a comic book line. They think that a comic book line needs to be diverse. So we took a look at what diversity actually looks like. So by the way, tomorrow we're also doing a lecture on diversity. That's a little more interactive. That's where you're going to get to have some say-so in things. And we're going to show you what true diversity looks like. Not the diversity you think is diversity right now. Because the diversity that you see right now in comics is not truly diverse. I'm going to give you just one example so you understand what I'm talking about. Women make up 47% of America. Why are not 47% of the comic books in America made and based on women? Now, when I talk to the people from Marvel and DC, here's what they tell me. Women books don't sell. I say, really? Manga, which sells more than American comics, 80% of the readers are women. This does not compute. This does not compute. Anybody understand this? So when they tell you they are diverse because they have Wonder Woman, that to them is diversity. 9 million men, 1 woman. That is not diversity to us, okay? I'm gonna give you just a very brief background on who I am. I started with Spider-Man 14. That was the book that hooked me, got me in, and made me a slave to comic books, okay? For you, each of you, I'm sure, have that book that actually got you in. Be thankful, because the minute you started reading, it changed your brain. And in changing your brain, you became part of an elite part of this country. That means people that are not afraid to read. One of the problems when we go into schools is that kids do not read. Yesterday, we did a thing on bringing STEM, using comics to teach STEM, to show people how we can do that. Because we found that kids, even though you give them a science book, they are running for the hills. You give them a comic book, they will read it. So we start to take those things and show them things in the comic books and how the science applies and works there. Now kids will actually start to research and do science so that they can learn about how to create their characters, okay? My being able to do this lecture on unacknowledged black creators is not wholly because of me. A couple years back, we're talking about a good 10, 15 years ago, I met a gentleman by the name of Dr. William Foster, so I gotta give a shout out to him. One of the questions that he put forth is, what good are comic books if we're going to create comic books that are the same as everybody else's? We have an entirely different aesthetic into how we look at the world. This is an aesthetic that is largely overlooked and for the most part, not even actually considered when characters are created. We have a matrix that where we talk about what characters are and what they actually look like in the world. I'll give you some terminology and tell me if you find this to be appropriate. Comic relief. Dies first. And by the way, a white guy pointed this out to me in the theater. When I was watching Jurassic Park, at the very beginning of Jurassic Park, when that guy climbed up on the cage, the white guy in front of me leans over to his friend, here's where the black guy gets it. So I'm sitting there thinking, nah. Sure enough, when he fell down and that dinosaur went, yak, and they grabbed him. And here's the funny thing, his partners could have grabbed his hand and tried to hold him, but when they realized the dinosaur had a stronger pull, they let him go. All right? So as a general rule, I started looking at movies from that point of view now. How many of you saw the latest Star Wars movie? Wasn't that a great movie? Yes. Wasn't the black character in that movie great? Yes. Do you know if you took him out of that movie, you'd still have the same movie? Yes. At the very beginning, when the commander gave the droid the instructions of taking that and finding a person on the resistance, if they had killed that commander right then and there, that droid would have still done that. So you didn't need the black guy in that movie at all. He was supposed to rescue the girl. Wasn't she already rescued when he got there? Mm-hmm. At the end, when she was fighting and the guy hits her and she goes down, then he picks up the blade and I'm thinking, oh, he's gonna get his Jedi moment. Yeah, he got a Jedi moment. He got to be hit like a Jedi. Even Sam Jackson, when he was a Jedi, how long did he last in that movie when he actually had to fight?
Preach. So on that note, we would like to start our panel discussion on the unacknowledged history of black characters and creators. Oh, we're going to get into all of that, brother. So first of all, my name is Nasir Gifted. I'm a part of PBS Media, partner with Mr. Darryl Goza here. You just heard the very brief intro from Mr. Darryl Goza. He's going to take over this whole thing. First, we'd like to welcome you. So give yourselves a round of applause for coming out and being here at AwesomeCon, because we are awesome, and you guys are awesome just the way they are here today. I just wanted to start off by just saying that you guys are going to be thrilled, you're going to be enthralled. And if anyone leaves, I'm thinking that they have a serious emergency going on, and that's the only reason why they have to leave. Because this brother has 1 hour of your time, and I don't think that's even enough. We've been doing this across the country, and we found that one thing that we needed to do, especially for black people in general, is educate them on the history of black characters, and it also ties into what we're looking to do in 2017, where we're looking to launch a Black Line of comic books. So I can't even, you can do it, that's something that we felt was needed. We've been doing a lot of standalone projects, and now we're looking to do something that's more sustainable. But without further ado, I don't want to take up any more of his time. I'd like to introduce you to the great Darryl Goza.
You guys just feel the earth shift? That was my head swelling. All right, the image you see right here was from a booklet that I did when I was a fan, where I actually started to go into looking into what the history of being a black character was like and what black creators there were in this book. If you take a look on the outline, you see a hint of an outline of a character in front. That character is called Little 8-Ball, which was actually created by a gentleman by the name of Walter Lantz. It was an actual animated short, and I'm going to show you how that figures into how we've been perceived, and not only that, how we've come to be seen in the world, and what we as black creators and what a lot of white creators are actually doing to change that imaging. Okay? Right? First slide. Oh, not that one. You got to come out completely out of that. Yeah, that's the book. Go further up. There you go. Okay? That was the book, okay? This is the first slide. Back in the 1950s, there was a movie called The Birth of a Nation. Now, Birth of a Nation, by the way, is being redone by black guys, okay? Now, here's the interesting thing. They also have a play right now on Broadway called Hamilton, which is like... Now, guess what? That, too, now is being manned by black people. The thing is I find very curious is that here you have a play that was doing fairly well. Now it's doing such record numbers you can't even get tickets till next year. Because it's got black people in it? Interesting. So here's what that tells me. Right now, we are in demand. All right. So we should honor that and stay in demand for the rest of our lives. Okay? Okay, The Birth of a Nation. Technically, that movie was affectionately also called on an off-title, The Klansman. That was what that movie was all about. It was about how the Klan built this nation. Now, guess what? I can tell you that was a lie. All right? The funny thing is, back in those days, we actually had to put cork on our face. They had to put cork on their faces and play us because they wouldn't even allow us to play us. I'm going to tell you a little interesting story. See the gentleman here? That's a black guy. He had to actually paint his face in cork to get work back in that time frame. Okay? No, not yet.
Brother, I thought I was going.
I want you to take a look at this imaging right here from Al Jolson. This is from a movie called The Jazz Singer. Now, quite naturally, given that that was the time frame and the framework of what was going on in this country, quite naturally, people doing comics were going to adopt a lot of that ideology and a lot of that imagery. And by the way, let me explain to you what I mean by that. Imagery is what drives everything in this nation. If people perceive you to be a moron, they're going to treat you like a moron. So they have to have that as an image of us. So consequently, when they started to create comic strips, it actually filtered down. This is from an actual Mickey Mouse comic strip from back around that time frame. Now, When I was at one lecture, a gentleman raised his hand and he said, by the way, that stuff doesn't happen now. When President Obama first became president, they did a collage of all the presidents. And when they got to the 44th president, which was at the bottom right of it, they had a picture of that was solid black with just a pair of eyes. For President Obama. So when someone tells me that that imagery is not consistent and that it is not a planned action, I tell them for sure it is. So what we have to do is we have to change that. But before you can change it, people have to actually understand where it came from. Then you can make the change. All right? Next one now. Next one now. Okay? Now, shortly thereafter, and we're talking about the 1930s, there was a bunch of people who actually did not believe in or like that imagery of us. So they actually started to say that they're going to actually start to try to change some of it. In changing it, they started to go to a different kind of imaging of us. That imaging wasn't going to be about us being stupid or moronic or anything. We were going to become what was known as noble savages. Noble savages. Keep that in your mind. Because even today, right now, when they portray a lot of us, that's what we are. We are noble. But we are not leaders. This has been a problem with President Obama's presidency since he's got in. President Obama is a leader, but he is not being treated like a leader. He's being treated like he's just a savage that sort of stumbled upon that office. Make no mistake, that is a planned action. That is a planned action. Let me tell you a little bit about Lothar. Early on, when they portrayed him, he wore lion skins and lion cloth. He talked very, very, I won't say guttural, but he didn't